Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our Luxlight Mastermind for doing this business plan uh, and strategy workshop for 2024 to jumpstart your year next year, right? So we want to make sure we try to help you as much as possible, give you some strategies, and also, if you can save your question at the end, we can. But if it's something that's really important, definitely ask me if you need to. And it's packed with a lot of information today. Hopefully you brought your production from this year. It's really for you to look at, and also your expand sheets. That's really for you to look at because we really go through it to help you guide you through how to run a lean business, but also have a win situation as well. Okay, so you have about 30, if I'm calculating right, we have about 32 days left of the year, right? Into 2024. So the next 32 days is really, really important for you to jumpstart your pipeline. Most of your competitors, the great thing is that you guys are here. So you're like one step ahead of everyone, okay? So that's awesome. So give yourself a hand, all right? Because, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people you can learn from, and there's stuff you can learn from online, and definitely encourage you to do all that every day you can. By you being here, that you're already ahead of over what I would say probably 18,000 agents that's out there right now in New Jersey. Okay, that's just within Garden State Multiple Listing. That's not even talk about all the other Jersey Multiple Listing to you have Central Jersey Multiple Listing to Hudson County Multiple Listing, all of that. So you are definitely ahead of everyone. So in this next 32 days, it is really crucial that you put all your effort into jumpstart your business. Is not what you do today, the next 32 days is not for this year. You have to know that. Other than you might have a cash buyer in the blue moon that comes to say, hey, I want to buy this in cash. It's great, you could definitely take them. But most of the time right now, you could be working with people who you could be pipelining for January, February, March. It is really important to have that right from the beginning, from the get-go, from January, February, March, because that's going to build your rest of the year. All right, so and we're going to talk about how to do that as well. So we are going to go to, so in front of you there's a booklet. You have a pen, you're welcome to write stuff on it. It's for you to keep. So the first thing is that we have 31 days, 32 days left. So on the book inside here, this is your short-term business plan. This is for this remaining of this year for 32 days. You can take off the paper clip and then flip the page or however you want to do it. So in the next 32 days, this is what you're going to write down from, how many days you're going to plan to work, how many hours you're planning to prospect, your contact, how many contacts you make, how many appointments you want to get, so on and so forth, and listing taking, listing sold, buyer consultation, buying sales, if you have to do price reductions, where are they at, and then all of those. So please fill that out for yourself. It is really for you to know for the next 32 days. Because this is what's going to help you to get yourself motivated for the next 32 days. The Wi-Fi for here, let's see, it should be, sorry, what's the Wi-Fi? Oh, Jim 12345, exclamation mark. Oh, Jim also is capital G, G-Y-M. Like go to a gym, exercise gym. All right, so Wi-Fi password is GYM12345, exclamation mark. Okay. All right, so did you take a moment to fill those out? So also, by the way, this is gonna be interactive. So I need the people on the audience to shout some stuff out and tell me what you guys are doing, what you're planning on, who you could talk to, and all that stuff, okay? So I'm gonna give you one more minute to fill out that form. Again, it's for the next 32 days. What are you planning to do as your goal? It's really important for you to have that because this is gonna help you to jumpstart January, February 2024. All right, so you should be filling some of those out. So talk to me, people. Someone shout out how many days you gonna work for the next 32 days? 23. Okay, so you take 7 days off, awesome, or 8 days, that's perfect to spend with families. And we need that, and we always need that. Make sure you always have time for your family, and and you always need to take some time off and just recuperate and re-energize, right? All right, and then who else? What's the another one give me one more. How many days you gonna work?
I wrote 20.
All right, 20. So that's pretty good. So with the holidays around, right? So long as you go between somewhere like in that next 2 to 3 weeks, that's really good. Some people may say 7 days, but then you have 10. All right, so that's okay. Listen, with that 10 days, you just need to time block how you time block yourself and making sure you do, to do everything you can in that 10 days to 20 days. It's possible because you really just have to, the amount of time you're prospecting, right? So then let's go to the next thing. So how many hours you think you'll be prospecting? Now, when I say prospecting, it doesn't mean like cold calling. It could be that you're talking to your past client, your spheres, your VIPs, all of that. So that's considered prospecting. So it's not cold calling, okay? So we got to concentrate not cold calling today. We really got to concentrate on yours database. That's what we talk about. So how many hours do you think you can do that?
230.
I'm sorry? 230 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, look at that.
10 hours a day?
Yep.
My math wasn't mathing there, you guys. But it was a good idea.
I love it. I love that. Well, let's say, yeah, guess.
So since I'm gonna only do 10 days.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 2 hours.
Okay, so that's 20 hours, right? And 20 hours, that's actually a really good amount of time. As long as you make sure you do that and for sure say, hey, I'm a blackout, nothing's gonna interrupt me. So don't look at your phone, don't look at your emails, strictly prospecting, meaning calling your friends, your clients, your VIPs, whoever it is. This is again, not for you someone cold call, okay? Because right now at this time, you really just want to get in touch with clients and past clients and friends and say, how was your Thanksgiving? And also, hey, what do you have planned for the holidays? And so on, have a conversation. Yes?
I can admit that that's not a habit for me, lead gen or time blocking.
Yep.
It's not a habit for me, so if I was to give myself a challenge for the next 30 days is to do it, to make it a habit for myself. Stop saying, oh, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, you got to make sure you make it a habit. So for you to make a habit, what you do is that you actually right now, if you want to, since you have your laptop up, go to your Google Calendar, or if you use Google Calendar, right now block out that time from 9 to 11 or 10 to 12, wherever it is, block it out, and that's on your calendar, and you have to commit to it, okay? So the thing is also with that 32 days that you have, the stuff that you promise yourself to do, when you do those, you gotta treat yourself to something. All right. So on the side, it said to you that if you do this, on the bottom right here, what is the benefit for you to do all of this that you promised yourself you do? Right. We could get to that. So one more thing before we go to the next thing. So prospecting, right? So let's talk about appointments. So so let's say you do 20 hours for the next 10 days. How many appointments you think you're gonna get?
4 or 5.
Okay. So again, appointment doesn't mean that it's for you to actually have to like list a house or actually or actually get a contract. It's appointment with a client, talking to them. It could be a consulting, talking to them. It could be just taking them out. That is an appointment. Okay. So so someone else give me yep.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? How many appointments do you think you get for the next 32 days? Come on, guys. 2. Okay.
I said
2. Okay. All right. So make sure you write that down. All right. And then from there, I know it's 32 days. Let's talk about buyer situation. Right. There's opportunities there. So how many buyer you think you're able to take out, and how many offer you're able to write up? 2. Okay.
In the next 32 days?
In the next 32 days. Doesn't mean accept it. It's just write up. Right. So let's think about it, right? Because right now is a really, really good time for, I know buyers say certain things to you saying that, actually, what is some of the buyers saying to you right now? Okay, we're gonna address that a little bit later.
Getting what I want and the price point that you're showing me.
Okay, yep. Well, then they have to compromise, right? And that's where you have to, again, it's not really objection, it's really about what is the condition of them telling you, right? So you have to be able to talk that through, and we're gonna talk about a couple of them and how you can show them that it is still a really good time to buy right now, and we'll talk about that in a second. So, all right, who else? Anyone else? And then let's talk about, what else can we do? We talk about, I know we have to do price reduction. So the house been on the market for more than 30, well, I don't know how many, I don't know, how many of you guys have listing out there sitting more than 30 days? Okay, so if you do, so how many price reduction do you think you get? You just did one last night. See, awesome. So make sure you write that on there for me, okay? So that's wonderful. So, so when you do all this in the next 32 days, and if you really are true to yourself and make a habit of it, and what I want you to do that on New Year's Eve, I guess, because you can look at it, or the 10 days after the 10 days you work, after the 20 days you work, after the 23 days you work, and look at this list again. Put this in front of your workstation, your office, your home office, wherever it is, because you want to see it. And then when sometimes you see something visually, and you actually will do it more than just thinking about you gotta do it, right? So when you do this, treat yourself to something that either for you or for your family. What would that be? Or buy something.
Spa day.
What, I'm sorry? A spa day, okay. So making sure that you do that 10 hours, you know, the 20 hours in 10 days, and then you get 4 or 5 appointments, you said, right? And then if you do that, then make sure you treat you or your family to something, because it gives you motivation. That's what it's all about. It's about motivating yourself, saying, hey, you know what? I did it in 31 days, right? So I'm gonna make sure I treat something to myself and my family, okay? So that's really important, all right? So next page. Next thing is that this is most of you guys know what this is, but we'll break it down a little bit more. So you really need to know your mission, visions, and your value. So before you fill this out, your mission is really what you are all about. So turn the page, just go quickly, because it's gonna help you to give you a guideline. So we can go back to this page in a second, all right? So the mission, there's certain questions in there. So I want you to take some time to look at the questions like why am I in the business? What make me unique? How do I stand out from someone else? And put there's 5 or 6 questions on there. And answer those for me, please. Take a couple minutes, because that's gonna really put yourself into who you are, and it's gonna help you to know what your mission is, and also why you're doing this. And we're gonna talk about it later too, actually. And then what do you want to accomplish in your business? Right, everyone is different. Again, when you're done with this business plan, making sure you look at this quarterly to making sure that you stay on track, okay? All right, someone let me know what makes you unique. Why are you standing out of the 18,000 agents that's out there? Yep.
I care.
You care. Okay. Who else?
Calm under pressure.
Calm under pressure. Okay, I like that. Calm under pressure. What else?
Come to the table with a corporate background.
You come to the table with a corporate background. Awesome. So you're able to have a conversation with them. Excellent. What else? Okay, yep. Analytical. Okay, numbers, data, very important today. Very, very important today. Yes. Have a legal background. Awesome. Yep, help with negotiation. Excellent. So definitely that's a big skill to have. So it's really about your skill set, right? So today is a skill market. It's no longer just, hey, you know what, 2020, 2021, you know, maybe probably 2022, it's just like you pick up the phone and go and do things, right? But today is really a skill market. It's no longer that, you know, you shouldn't be just wait for the phone to ring. It's no longer to, you have to be proactive and not reactive, okay? So that's really important. And then what makes you, why you're better than everyone else?
I mean, my clients say I just go over and beyond. When they work with another realtor, they just can't believe how much other value I bring to them.
Value, right? So value to the table.
Right? My one client, she just said, "You're not your regular realtor."
That's awesome.
That's what she said to me after we were talking. I was like, "Oh my god, I like that."
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of agent who's a regular typical agent, right? So for you to be here today, you're actually not a regular typical agent already because you're actually trying to improve your skill set and also you're providing value to your clientele. Value is really important. So you want them to remember you because that's how you get referral business. So that's really, really key. Yes. Yeah, that's another thing, right? So what would be better is that you can have relationship with the other agent realtor. That is really key today in business. Just remember, okay? We no longer say, hey, submit offer, get it done, and go move on, right? Today, going forward, the business have changed already. That your relationship with the other side of the transaction is really important. You could be the buyer, you could be the seller, doesn't matter. You have to work with each other. It's almost become partnership, okay? That's how it is. That become partnership that you're trying to get it done. It doesn't matter what you think is right or wrong, but the goal is that you have a client, both sides of client, and you want to make sure this things stick together as long as possible to a point that, okay, you know what, this is not gonna happen. That's out of your hand. But your goal is to be there to handle all the objections, to actually bulletproof the whole transaction from the beginning all the way to the end. Because remember, you do not get paid into what? We close, right? So anything into we close, into even that final walkthrough, you still need to stay calm, as you said, that you want to stay calm with the buyer, also with the agent. If something comes to a certain way, say, hey, how can we try to solve this? Right? So we're so close to the closing table. Closing is 11 o'clock, and making sure let's just get this done, right? There's obviously you want to make sure you know the attorney's involved at the same time, right?
One of the things that we did this year was we added a thank you card, not just to the buyer and the seller, but also to the agent.
I love it. Yep, I love it. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah.
I can vouch for that. She sent me one when we did a deal a couple of years ago.
Look at that. Awesome. Yep, that's really, really nice. So even the email also, or text message. So I'm really big on text message, and we're gonna talk about that too. So also remember, a lot of time we forget the basic, how like you used to write, you know, Valerie, you and I have been in the business a long time. So we remember the days that we still like open houses, we write handwritten notes and all this stuff, right? So and we that's how we taught, right? But that has changed a lot. But I'm telling you, back to basic, it's gonna help you. Back to the original things, like, you know, how many people know Brian Perfini? Like, that's like, he's one of the coach way long time ago, right? So he was the one who made, like, you know, when I was with Remax, and that was one of the things that we did learn is that you have to write handwritten notes, and that is so important. And a lot of time we just got so busy, we totally don't do it anymore, and we rely on emails, right? Most people get so many emails today. So many. I don't even look at all my emails, to be honest with you, okay? So the people who you can get in touch with is two ways. It's actually three ways. Either you call them, either you text them, or you either write them a handwritten note. those are three things more actually appealing to most people. Your emails, they go in there and they glance at it for 3 seconds and you may not see it again, right? So certain things you want to make sure you change the way how you do things today. So that's really important. And then the next sheet, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna talk about your vision, all right? So this is really, really key because it's not about your 2024 business. It's more about your vision for the next 5 years, because that's how you set your goal, your vision, and that's how you plan it to make it for your 2024. Does that make sense? So take a minute to also I want you to separate. There is your business goal, and that's your life goal. Your 5-year business goal and your 5-year life goal. They're two separate things. All right. So make sure you look at that and write that separately. And after that, you can write in and say what, because based on the 5-year goal, 5-year plan, your vision, what you're gonna do to make sure that it's a step to get there. Then you're gonna say, what is the next year? What would be my step to get to my 5-year goal? And then after that, you also go write in what is my 6 months goal. And it's actually not on here. I'm gonna add something onto it, and then I'm gonna say, what is your next 3 months goal? So take a second to fill that in. And by the way, when you guys writing this out and you want to like ask me a question and shout out something, like this is how you did, I love that. This is all about interactive. You coming here asking, questions, and I can help you as much as I can.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
How often do you revise your mission, vision, values? Like, how often do you go back and maybe revise it every year? Or
I look at it every year.
every year?
My vision we look at every year, definitely. We plan out 5 years ago. We have a 10-year goal, so we say 10 years, like, you know what, we're gonna retire, right? And certain things may set back. Like, you didn't know that when you set the goal that the market shift, right? So then you might have to adjust and say, hey, maybe it's not gonna be 10 years anymore, it's gonna be 15 years. So you do have to look at that, but it's really, you should always visit your vision every single year. Even you set it for 5 years, but you should always look at it every year. And then your mission, once you set your mission, most of the time that shouldn't change, but you should kind of look at it and just remind yourself, what is your mission? You can look at that quarterly, your mission. Because then you can remind, that's actually, again, it's like your motivation. Like, let's say like your first quarter, hey, you know what, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, and like, let me review this and go back to my mission. Oh, you know what? The reason I'm doing this is because of this, right? And this is why I'm good at it. Like, I'm really good at doing this. Am I really doing everything I can to do what I'm really best at? Right? Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so tell me some of you guys your 5-year goals. Anyone ready to retire 5 years? You ready to retire 5 years? Yeah, Valerie's ready? Okay.
No.
All right, awesome. I love that. I love it. And where are you going to go in 5 years? What are you going to do?
I have other things that I like to concentrate on, but the world is my oyster.
Awesome. I love it. Yep. Steve, go ahead. Yep. You want investment property. Okay, excellent. What else, Trace?
100% referral business.
100 referral business. That's it. No more calling. Just waiting for the calls to call you. Awesome. Yep. Yes. What she said, 100% referral business. Okay. Yep. Yes.
Create the relationships with homeowners
Build more relationship. Yeah, it's all about connection. It is a relationship business. It is strictly 100% relationship business. What else? Anyone else? All right, then from there, for you to do that, how do you make that happen with your 1 year goal? Get back on the phone. There's no way around it, unfortunately. So yes, go ahead. Consistency. Very good, right? Yep.
I think when you have those types of goals, I think you have to break it down, right? You have to break down that overall goal
Yep.
and probably set a 1 year goal that will lead to that ultimate goal.
Yep.
Something you can focus on for the year and break that down.
Correct. So what you can do that by using that 1 year goals to become your 1-3-5s. Okay. So really, that's what it's setting you up for, in a sense, right? So having that one go and break it down to your 3 strategy. From the 3 strategy, you have different action steps that you want to do, and which we're going to talk about a little bit later as well. And then from there, your 6-month goal, what would that be? Let's say you have phone calls. What else can you do to do more relationship?
Have a client party.
Okay, having events. Yep.
Go to more network.
Network event. Yep. We're going to talk about it a little bit later as well. Yep. Yep.
I'll say the same thing.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Start a club.
I'm sorry.
Start a club.
Start a club.
Something you're interested in.
Yep.
Other people are probably interested in.
Right. Yep. We're going to talk about it a little bit more as well. Yep.
Some Popeyes.
Popeyes. Okay. So you have to put all awesome stuff, right? So making sure that you put that on your calendar and do them. Like set out, like we set our goal for whole next year, and we have a calendar like January, February, March, April. What are we doing each month? That's already set, and that you want to make sure that's all set. Then you know it's on your calendar, and you prep yourself for it. We prep everything 3 months prior, so we already know what we're gonna do in January, and February, and March already. Actually, we already know the whole year already.
So when you're done with that month, do you go back and look back to see what your hit and misses were in that month? Like if you said you're setting the calendar up, right, for a quarter.
Yep.
So let's say January.
Yep.
At the end of January, do you go back and look and say, okay, here's where this is our,
Yeah.
Hits, misses, and then carry.
Correct.
over.
Well, we normally do look at that weekly, and then we look at monthly,
Okay.
and then we do look at quarterly.
Okay.
All right, and then next, because there's one other thing you could see a little bit later, and we're talk about how you break it down into like 4 quarters, because our real estate business goes sometimes up and down, right? It shouldn't be. You really want to try to do it consistently, but unfortunately, you can't control that sometimes. And generally, most of the time it's your first quarter is when you pick up, and then your second and third quarter, that's really when you do most of your business. Your fourth quarter is really you do some business, but then that is really your planning stage to do your next year business. Okay, so generally I like to do this business plan a little bit earlier, like in October. So we have a lot of stuff going on, but it's always better to do now versus you don't want to start January 1st, because by that time you're already 3 months behind. Okay, so it is really important you do it now, right? And then from here, from this 3 months, so that's still about 3 months, right? So from 6 months go, you guys do some Popeyes events. What's your 3 months goal? Like, how can you get out there, like right now, to use that 20 hours that you're prospecting, right? Again, it does not have to be on a phone. Remember, guys, okay? There's a lot of ways to prospect. Just as Valerie said that you can be starting a book club. Read a book that maybe interests you. Maybe other realtor interested all together, and start a whole club together, right? And that can start your 100% referral business as well, right? And do a happy hour just with realtor, just get to know them and talk to them. That could start your 100% referral business. But going to different events, going to different mastermind to meet different people. And that's how you get to your 100% referral business. For you to stay here, just like concentrate your business, you're not gonna always meet people, right? So the goal is that you want to make sure you meet all different people, all different networks, but the main thing is that do something that you enjoy the most. Because when you enjoy it, you can talk about it. It could be, how many people of you like tennis? All right, not tennis. All right, let's go tennis. Okay, how many guys? Let's say you enjoy. Let's say, let's not sport. Let's do something else like book club, right? So book club, right? And then something. Let's say golf, like anything like that, right? So pick something that you like, and concentrate on it. There's 1,000 things you can do, but you really need to focus and concentrate and make yourself accountable and pick 1 to 3 things, and you can really go on it. So if you really like data, join a club that talk about all different, from Wall Street to like finance and all this stuff, because you're enjoying all this stuff, right? If you, enjoy doing, events, then you go to you can do different book clubs, or join could be, country club, or specifically maybe let's say you like paddle tennis. Join a team that you play paddle tennis, or join a basketball or running or whatever. There's so many different clubs out there. Yeah.
So I just had an agent that really loves her dogs, right?
Dogs. Oh my God, dogs is huge.
She had a dog party.
Yes. I love that.
At the dog park, and she had this dog party, and she had all these treats for the dogs, and
I love the dog party.
the homeowners, and I mean, to the pet owners, and she had like 50 dogs.
She had 50 you said? She had 50 dogs, yeah.
Like 50 dogs, 50
Wow.
what do we call them? Pet owners.
Right, yeah,
And it was a blast.
yeah.
She was like, it was a blast. And she said that the dogs just loved each other. And now she has these people that she is constantly in contact with because they're meeting up at the dog park.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And if you guys have how many of you guys have pets? I have a pet, right? So it's really awesome. Dogs and cats, whatever. So April, I believe it's like National Pet Month or something, right? Use that to make an event out of it if you want to. Someone else has their hands up. Yes.
I like the mastermind that said one of the things he does a lot is going to fundraisers.
Okay, going to fundraiser. Yeah. So at one of the mastermind, one of the panel speaker mentioned that go to fundraisers, but making sure it's a cause that you believe in. Okay, really important. It could be for the homeless. It could be for a shelter. We actually just did one. We donated some of our pies to one of the organization, and we actually they requested double amount of the pies that they wanted. We're like, well, what's going on? So let's just talk to them. So when we get to know them, we interview them. We're like, wow, they actually do a lot more than just shelter. Like all the different stuff they do. We're like, we want to get more involved. So and they have fundraisers and all this stuff, and that's when you want to go to a place that people that you like the same thing. You're passionate about it. It is really, really important you're passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it, you just go and try to talk to someone to get business. That's not good work. Okay. Yes.
I was talking to an agent the other day, and she told me she invited her neighbors, the ladies, for tea at her place on a Saturday or Sunday or something like this, and they were so grateful. She could have the 12 people in her house, just talking, being normal, whatever, hanging out, and they were really grateful for one, getting it out and getting to know their neighbors, and I think it was brilliant of her. It worked for her.
Having a tea party. Yeah, absolutely. So like with your neighborhood, you can definitely, get in touch with people. And again, your things that you do doesn't have to start big. It's build on it. It could be 3 people, it could be 5 people, and then it's built up from 5 people. Those 5 people love it. Then they can tell their friends, more people come, and now 15 people, and that's how you build. And that's when you get referral business that way too, right? You have to build. Bottom line, relationship. That's key, right? So that's really important. All right, so we're gonna go to the next page. Did my thing just stop? So while he did it, so next page is this is really important for you. Well, actually, this was core, so your value. So we won't go too much into it. Just really your core value, because we're gonna go a little bit more deeper at the end. So that's gonna give you all different value, your value, okay? But then we're gonna move on to next page. This is really important to you. I want you guys to really think about this, not because the money that you're making to be in this business. I want you to think of why you're doing this. I want you to doesn't matter how much money you make, right? You can always make money. You can always make, your goal that you want to do. But why are you doing this? What is your bottom line? Is it because you want to retire to have to make sure you can provide for your family, or is it because you want your kids go to college debt free, or is it because you want to make sure you can prove to everyone that you can do this? So I really want you to put down this why in there for you. Okay, take a minute to write this out. Sorry. And then when you're done, someone can shout out why you're doing this. Financial freedom. So that's like retirement, kind of, right? So, yeah, yes.
Help people / make a difference.
How people make a difference. Okay, that's good. Yep.
Help people transition into their new chapter of life.
New chapter of life. That's important. That's actually one of my really passions. It's about how we can help someone to where they are at and get to a different point of their life. It's so, you'd be surprised if you're there every step of the way and beyond. They're so grateful, and that's when the business come back to you. Okay.
I have one lady who I'm actually helping her transition, and every time she talks about me, she tells her family and friends that God has sent her an angel to help her along her way. And just I'm even concerned about when she transitions to making that place comfy, because she's been in the house like at least 70 years.
Wow. Okay.
So we had breakdowns, cries, hugs, everything. And
Yeah.
I'm there with her every step of the way.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And then also, when you're helping someone, it doesn't matter what price point they are at. They could be at 200,000, it could be 400,000, it could be 1.2 million dollars, whatever it is. But wherever you put your effort into that person, when they like you, trust you, and will always refer business to you. Okay, that's really important. So you always need to know that. What else?
Make people happy.
I'm sorry?
Make people happy.
Make people happy. We always want to make people happy, right? So that's important. That's when you put someone in a smiley face, like you make someone else happy. That's awesome. Yes.
Make some of our clients money.
Makes client money. Yeah, it's special this time right now, right? So let's say, definitely they might not be willing to sell their home right now because, you could say interest rate or nothing to buy, or they don't want to move. But at the same time, also you can say to them, hey, since you have equity in your home, why don't we utilize that to actually help you to do an investment property, and that investment property someone else get paid for you. Pay the mortgage down payment for you, and keep going, and then that's create your financial freedom later on. Yeah.
So the goal is always in my family, okay, is that my parents did what they needed to do in order to get us to, my sister and I, to a certain level, and my husband and I are doing the same thing for our kids, so it's generational wealth building.
Generation wealth building. Yep. So you hit around the spot. You always, always think ahead, right? Yes, you need to provide for yourself and your family currently right now, but at the same time, it's how you build that wealth and generally build for the next generation. Like we are like, okay, so we created, a setting that is very nicely for now. We live very, have a certain lifestyle, and we want to make sure we have the lifestyle. But at the same time, we think about, okay, when we no longer there, how is our kids or grandkids or wherever, if you decide to have kids, and how is that gonna happen, right? If not, then you can say, okay, if if let's say something happened to me, how can I help someone else to have less, right? That's how I think, how we think right now. This is really helping other people how to not just have wealth, but also how to make them a better person as well. And because you can always be better, you can always learn better, learn every day. I still learn every day, just so you know. I still go to classes every single day if I can. I still go to mastermind training. I still have a coach. This business constantly changing, constantly. And Valerie and I have been together for so many years at this point that we have seen from the recession to this shift to the next, we can possibly we know what's gonna come. And you really want to plan.
Up and down about what's going on with commissions right now. It's like, don't focus on that.
Don't-
Focus on your business.
Don't focus. Don't worry about. Just put it kind of like. Don't listen to media. Just don't. Your client may. Some of your client may listen to media, but most of them don't even listen to it. They have no idea. Okay, so don't. Just concentrate on business and just keep doing what you do. But when that's happen, when once in blue moon someone comes up to you to bring up to you, you need to make sure you have your conversation ready to go. That's all. But don't so. You know, I see everything on Facebook when something comes like, oh my God, what is people doing that? And like you see like 500,000 like comments. I was like, people, let's not spend time on that. Let's just spend time on your client and like, what can you do to help your client? Like,
And that's the world we live in. You know, if you watch news every day, I don't think any of us would want to come outside. You know, so they're always trying to scare us up and, you know, make us focus on something else when we really need to be focusing in on, you know, what we do.
right.
But that's going to be it all the time. It's always going to be something to try to scare us up or.
There's always something, right? I mean, listen, when COVID hit, we're like, okay, what to do, right? But like, if you want to survive, you figured out what to do, right? Same thing with this now. We have the next change of changing market. You got to figure out what to do. The key thing is that to concentrate. Doesn't matter what this person is doing. Doesn't matter how much volume they do. Doesn't matter how much unit they do. Doesn't matter because that's not you, right? You need to look at, okay, how much am I really going to do? What's going to help me to provide for my family? How am I going to have that financial freedom and also build, you know, having generation wealth, right? That is all you. You can be the only person to do that yourself. No one else can. Because someone in a business is not going to help you. Because like if you look at, oh my God, this person is doing so much more volume, so much unit, but you know what? That doesn't help you. That's going to make you not motivated, right? The only way you make yourself motivated is say, oh my goodness, I got 4 appointments this month, and then 2 of them I actually get to closing, and actually I can see result. That's what you want to do for yourself, not because of someone else's goals or their setting. You want to you can only control what you can do, right? So that's really, really important. Okay. All right. So we are going to the next page. So this is I want you to look at, this is where you know you have back and forth. Yep, right there. Okay. You got me a little nervous there for a second. I was like, am I supposed to be looking at that page already? All right. So this page is about this year, your goal that you have. So I asked you to bring your your productions for you, so you can fill that out for me. Just looking at all that to talk about, like, what was your income this year, how many closing you did, how many days you worked, how many proximity hours that you really did. Just estimate this year, right? And then go on all the way down in total contacts that you have, and then listing appointments, listing taking, listing sold, and buyer sales. You should have all those numbers pretty much by heart at this point. So the numbers I'm looking for, well, I'm gonna let you guys fill this up before I say I'm looking for big numbers. All right, so you should be done most of it now at this point, right? Oh, Megan's like calculating how many hours she's prospecting. She'll make sure she give us the hours correctly.
She's like, I'm not gonna calculate wrong this time.
Yep. All right, so the big numbers I'm looking for is really about your days that you work. We are at what, 11 months in. How many days did you work? Someone shout out for me. 288. Okay, that's really good.
Probably around 2:30.
230. Okay. What else? 250. Okay.
I always feel like I'm working.
You always do your working,
Except when I'm on vacation.
except you're on vacation.
Sometimes
So sometimes you're working, but you are away, right? So but you always want to set your those days. You always listen. We may not take vacation, but you can always just like take a staycation, right? And that could be from. She's like, no, I'm not doing staycation. I have to go away. It's like, yeah, I'm with you. I have to go away. I have to go somewhere to totally like just to re-energize, just to like recharge, right? So definitely plan that out, and this is the time you want to plan that too, to set your away schedule now, knowing that when you go away, either your could be your holiday breaks, could be your summer break, could be your winter break, do all those.
mental health day.
And a health day could be you can work. Listen, please don't tell me you work 7 days a week, 24/7, because I know that's what we say to a client sometimes. But you do need a day. You need a day, even 4 hours, to absolutely nothing, just for yourself. Okay. So even 4 hours. Okay. So a day will be awesome that you can have a day off. But a lot of time we can because sometimes just things happen, right? But make sure each week you have at least 4 hours to yourself, not about real estate. Don't pick up the phone. Just say, I'm not, you can just tell your client, I have an appointment. All right? They don't need to know that you're away getting a spa treatment or you're playing tennis for 2 hours.
The best thing I've gotten from you over the many years we've worked together is I am at an appointment.
That's what I
It's
do, too.
because why do they need to know?
Exactly.
They just need to know you're a busy realtor.
They don't need to know.
They
Yep.
don't need to know.
They don't need to know. Yep.
They don't know you need to get your nails done.
Right.
No, please do not tell them that you need your nails done because like I say, your nails is more important than my conversation with you. You know.
Your vacation is more important than talking to me.
Right. No, absolutely. But the way to say, the way to outcome that say, listen, I'm reachable while I'm on vacation, but also have someone here that can help you. So I'll make sure that person know everything about my business that you're well taken care of. How does that sound? So I'm going to introduce you to this person, and so making sure that you have that relationship because you do need to go away. You do not. Let's say you go away to a time difference to Asia, Europe. You're a 6 hour to 12 hour difference. You do not want to pick up that phone call, and sometimes you do because like either really important clients, but you don't want to pick up like a buy from a call and say, hey, I just saw your listing, and I want to say, I'm like, well, unfortunately, I can't do that because I'm 3,000 miles away, right? So you have to know time and place. And sometimes when you go away, that's when you get business.
Always happens.
All right? So, right. So then when you do that, making sure you have someone here that can help them. Because if you're not there to help them, guess what? That person's going to go. People like the only people who just stay loyal to you is the people who've been with you a long time, who you have a relationship, who like you and trust you. But when someone just call you off the line on a phone call, off your listing, you don't pick up that phone call within 5 seconds, they're done. They move on to someone else. They just move on, especially buyers today. There is no loyalties with buyers today, right? Can I say that? Until you create that relationship. Until you give them value, why they should work with you versus someone else, right? That's really, really important.
I've never had a vacation where I haven't been picking up the phone and working. And I'm always telling my client, I got to get better at that. I'm always telling my clients, yes, I'm available to you still. The only thing I can't do is show you a property, but I have, my team members. I got to get better.
You gotta get better at that. You need to shut it down. Say, hey, you know what? I am currently away right now. I have a team member or someone else who can help you with all these other questions. Because you really do need to recharge because Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
And I still feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
I
Feel
still,
guilty.
yeah,
I feel guilty
I'll
too.
still feel guilty. They'll say,
because
oh,
at
I'm
the end of
sorry,
the-
I don't wanna bother you on vacation, and I'll be like, oh, it's okay.
No.
No, but it's also especially on your, if your clients are really big on emailing, make sure you set on your email, say, I'm currently away, and here that, it's just like a corporate world, right? When they go on vacation, you do not get in touch with them. Not so, how is that different, right? So you put a message on email, say, hey, you know, I'm traveling or I'm out appointments or wherever you are, that I'm not reachable for the next, you know, certain time. I'll be back in the office XYZ day. And then if you have urgent matter, please get in touch with this person, phone number, email, make sure they can link it so they can actually talk to you, right? So, yeah.
You know, it's years ago, right, when new agents came into the business and they started putting this message on their phone that they're not reachable after 7 o'clock, you know, I will talk to you the next day. I was like, oh my God, how could they do that? They're gonna lose business. But you know what? It's a work-life balance situation.
Right,
And it's
correct.
no different than when you're on vacation where you say, you know what, I'm gonna be checking my emails. If you wanna email me at certain times, I will check my emails twice a day or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And then you can get back to them. But the constant, they have to be in your space, so they have to be talking
Correct,
to you.
yep.
Is not good for you
So
as a person.
bad at that. The phone is
Yeah.
to me like all
You
in
gotta
the
set them.
Boundaries, right? Yep. Yep. Work-life balance is really important. That's really key. Yep.
So I used to send out every week to my buyers my schedule, like these are the days I'm available to show, these are the days that I have someone filling in, and let them know and when to make the appointments. And I actually had a client tell me that that bothered them, that I actually gave them that much. They didn't like that. They didn't like that. I wasn't available to them all the time. But I thought, let me give you the schedule so you can see the service that I offer is available to you, but I might not be able to show you this day, but I have a showing agent, and they did not like that.
Okay, I think how you want to change that is actually, you know, don't give them all whole week schedule. Just what you do is say, hey, you know what? It's great that you want to come out and see houses with me, but you know what? Right now, my calendar schedule, what my availability is Thursday at 4 to 6 p.m., Saturday from 10 to 12. Those are the time I'm available for you, and let's see how we can make that work, right? If they,
I'm available this time or this time, which works better
Yeah,
for you.
so but that's exactly what I would say. It's like Tuesday I'm available to show, Wednesday I'm available to show, this time, and I gave it to them so they could see it. That's too much. They knew the time, they knew the days, and the days that I wasn't available, I was like, listen, I'm not available Saturday, but if you tell me in advance, I can have someone show you the properties, just so the process isn't, we don't stop the process of looking.
right.
I got backlash for that, so I'm like, I don't know which way to stand on how to
That sounds like one Pacific client, right?
It was one, but I just thought about it. Like, you always think about the negative, right? You're like, well, why did the client respond to that? I thought that was being helpful. So my thing is, was that
Sometimes when you give people too many options, they tend to overload them and say, well, that doesn't really work for me. But versus you give them like set time and options, it works better. And then they may say, hey, you know what? Those two really don't work for me. And they say, well, you know what is the day you're looking for? Then you go back and say, okay, you know what? I'm not available that day, but you know what? I can have someone show you the house, like having a showing assistant to show you the property. I'm still available to talk to you after certain hours, but it's just, I'm not physically available to show it to you, right?
I need to pull back?
You need to, yeah. You need to, remember, you need to control of that situation before you go out with your clients. If you don't, you'll be showing them 100 houses,
Yeah, right, okay.
okay? And there's no 100 houses to show right now. So that's mean that you'll be working with this buyer for how long? A long time, right? Set the expectation, set all that right from the beginning. Because if you don't, they just keep sending and say, hey, I want to come on next week. I want to see this house, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? Definitely set your expectation.
When there were lots of houses to show, and I met a buyer, you know, during the consultation, the first thing I would tell them is, my weekend is split like this. morning appointments, afternoon appointments, morning appointments, afternoon appointments. Take 4 people out every weekend. I need to know by Thursday which slot you want. And everybody pretty much fell in line.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, I would just literally have to say, I'm sorry.
And with today market, there's not so many houses to show. You can even do
3 slots.
4 slot actually. So you can do from well, depending how early you start your day, you can do, so you can do 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. Done, stop at 6.
Yeah.
All right, because also because it's dark outside anyway, so you can't really see, right? So you want to stop, you don't want to show the house, right? And generally, you're done, if it's a buy appointment, you probably show them 3 houses, you're done an hour and a half,
Yeah.
right? And the goal is to get as many people out during that weekend, and then you can have translate those into transactions and also convert them into possible writing about offers. Writing an offer doesn't mean that you get it done, but it's one step closer, and they learn. And most buyers today need to learn probably at least 3 times before they get a house, because the first time they say, I don't really trust you, I don't believe you, but even you provide them data, right? Second time they say, okay, we get a little closer. By the third time, say, okay, you know what? Just tell me what I need to do, right? Really, by that time, by the third one, they should. But if they continue not listening to you, you're gonna need to like pull back and say, hey, listen, you know what? Obviously, it sounds like you know more than I do at this point. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna provide you the data, and then let's see what happen. You tell me what you need, what you want to write.
Have you said that? You
I
know
have.
more than really?
Yeah. There is some people, there is definitely some people who think they know better than you do, right? So doesn't matter how long you're in business, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 18 years, 20 years, 25 years, whatever, right? They still think, hey, you know what? I wanted to do this one. I'm like, okay, you know what? If that's what you really want to do, let's just do that. But I'm going to just tell you, it's not based on my opinion, based on my expertise, that is not good work for you, all right?
How many offers, Simon, would you write?
Before I say that,
But no, not before you say that. Before you say to them,
I don't think I'm the agent.
Because at some point, you also have to do that. You know, you don't want to be wasting your time writing up offers.
I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead, yep.
So, I have a rule, okay, and the rule is, if I've taken you out more than 6 times, you're getting fired. And you're getting fired, okay, because.
Have you told them that? You told them that?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean, I have the conversation with them
Yeah.
of, I don't think, I must not be the agent for you, because you've given me a list of what it is that you want, your criteria, right? And I followed your criteria to the letter to the best of my ability. And I'm still not giving you what it is that you need. You know what? Maybe I'm just not the right agent for you. And you know what? That's okay. But you know what? I actually have an agent who's less busy than I am, who I think would be a perfect fit for you.
right?
And that's it, okay? And they're like, oh. And then the next time they're like, if they'll call me and say, you know what, Val, I thought about what you're saying, and maybe we're being a little too picky. Did you take us to see such and such house? And I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, okay. And they buy it, all right? Because now you've set the expectation that I'm really busy.
Yeah.
And you and I are not kind of working out
Right.
here because you have higher expectations than what I'm able to give you.
Right.
But I have somebody for you. I didn't kick you out.
Right.
I just said I have someone who can help you better.
Right. And I'm guessing it doesn't really happen that much to you.
It doesn't.
happen much to me.
It
but
doesn't.
every
It
once
doesn't
in a
happen
while.
much. But you need to
Once
have
in
the
a
script.
while, yeah.
You need to have
I
the
like that
script
script.
as to
Yeah,
how you're going to break it to them, right?
Yep, absolutely. And also, it's setting the expectation, also mindset at the same time. Okay, so and that's when you do your buyer consultation, the first one. That first meeting is so important to set the expectation and what you're willing to do, what it's all about, and knowing that, get the criteria. Will say, and then you can say, hey, listen, you know, by third offer, say, obviously is not working. We have to adjust. Either you have to adjust on your willingness to buy something that either lower price point, or you have to actually increase your price point if you're able to, or instead of buying a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, you might need to go to a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2 baths. Or you have to, because
To be your start, it doesn't have to be your forever home. Your start.
just, right, correct. And you have to that. So she give them 6 time. Wow, okay, I say after 4 offers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because by that time they should be with you and like,
I'm not even talking about offers, I'm talking
yeah,
about
outside, yeah. There's not so many houses to see today, so you have to make that judgment, really, absolutely. So, so the next page is about, and not the next page, the next size on the other side is talk about how much you would do next year. So give me some of those numbers, like how many listings you think you'll take? It's going, where am I?
15
Okay, awesome. Keep going. I want that number to go higher.
No, you just have to do this. I'm gonna show you. This, because I have to leave soon. Win this window and K, win K. That gives you this, and then click on that one. That's the thing, E30, and it'll connect it.
Who say 30? Oh, okay. What else? So I heard 15. 50. 50 listing? Awesome. I love it. Keep going. How many more listing? Anyone else? 50 is my highest? All right. That's been one listing, almost one listing per week. Okay? All right. So for you to take one listing a week, how many appointments you need to have that per week to have that one listing?
Say that again?
How many appointments do you think you would need to have that one listing per week?
I would say 3 or 4.
Okay, so your ratio is 33%, sounds like, right? Okay, so so then for you who's taking 15 listing, how many appointments do you think you need to have to monthly basis, I guess, right? Because you break it down, let's say 15 listing each quarter. Let's break it down to, we could do that next thing because then you could break it down to 4 quarters, right? So how many appointments do you do per quarter?
I mean, I'm like, take maybe about 50 or higher percent. What would you say?
50%, yep, correct, yep,
Even
yeah,
more, so I
yeah.
don't know.
So you only yourself would know your percentage, like how many, so
I think 50 to 75%.
50 to 75% is a really good number to be. It's really, I would never say that I can take every single one of listing when I go out to. I try to. I'm pretty good at it, my listing appointment and my presentation. When you are under the 50%, you really want to look at what is my conversation not getting through to the other side, or is it what I'm showing them it doesn't make sense to them. You really want to be in that 50 to 75%.
Well,
Because
when are you going in timing? Are you going in when they're like, oh, maybe we'll sell the house next year? Or are you going in when they're like, we have to put the house on the market, you know, in 2 months?
right. And then also, before going to that appointment, you should always have a conversation with them first. Because that really is going to help you guide you that conversation before you go in. Because you know the timing. Conversation on that conversation will be timing. Do you have a place to go to? Let's talk about seller right now. Okay? You got to make sure you find motivated sellers. And the seller who say, you know what, I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure, I'm going to do 6 months, a year. Great. Put those on the side. Put those on your pipeline. Concentrate on your motivation seller. Right now. Right?
Do you think we should be more like general like market report, or should we still try to get in the door when they're like, oh, I'm just thinking about it?
She's saying that if they say, hey, I'm not sure when I'm going to sell, I'm just thinking about it, she just set them on a report, like market report, or just like keep pushing to get the foot into the door.
I would still keep pushing. I always keep pushing to meet with them. Because I say, I just want to meet with you, so when you are ready, at least we know each other. And let's just see if we even want to work with each other. You never know. Let's get that out the way now. But I always push to get to it.
Yeah, it's always a timing base, remember, okay? Timing is really important.
Because I want to create a relationship. Like, even the people I have that tell me they're not going to be ready for 6 months, I stay with them every month for the
Yeah.
You need to, yep.
Yeah.
I've stayed with people for 20 years.
I stay with people. I got people right now that I've been talking to since I got in the business in 2013. No lie. I'm known in my office for like my follow up and staying with people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are ready, coming to be ready now, and they're ready to go.
That's how it works. Stay in touch.
Same
Yep.
thing when I
You,
first started
yep.
working with Simon,
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Yep.
People that are just ready now.
Yeah, it's like that. Because life, like I have one lady who, she wasn't ready. She thought the kids were going to take the house. Then out of nowhere, her husband died. So now she's like, you say I got to go. I can't stay here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah. That makes sense. You always say something?
I think when you're working with someone for a long time, like you need to be there as their trusted advisor and like providing them with valuable things that they need help with in their life. Like whatever it is. Like I mean my clients call me, they're like, can you help me find a piano like teacher? They're like, where should I send my kids for tennis? You know what I mean? So you just want to be able to always give them something.
Provide values. Yep.
Even if it's not related, even if it's like, you know what, I can't help you, but talk to this other person.
Right. It doesn't stop. Like you're once you close or when you sell something, buy something, it doesn't stop there. You still need to stay in touch. Okay. Yep.
Exactly what she's saying. My clients will not put a kitchen in, they don't put a bathroom in, they don't do anything in their houses unless they call me and ask me, Val, does this make sense financially for us to do?
For resale purposes, right? Absolutely.
Especially my high-end clients.
Yep. Yep.
My high-end clients are very concerned about their money, especially now, and they're like, is a $100,000 kitchen worthwhile for me now? Well, that all depends on what's going on in your marketplace. Let me look at it and I'll give you a call.
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
the value thing is what it's all about.
Yep.
You gotta constantly present them with, this is what I have for you. People want stuff.
Right.
Okay? And so we have a list of vendors that
Yep.
we put out. When you buy something from me, you get a list of all of the people
Yep.
that we would recommend for your home, our plumber, our electrician. And the guys know, if they do wrong, or I get a client,
They're
be
off the
fast,
list.
you are off the list.
Yep.
You do not want to be off the list.
You do not want to be off the list.
So
Yeah.
it's all about
And it happens. It happens. It happens sometimes. So yeah.
Better to
Yeah.
send them
And-
that list from the beginning or have them
once they close,
continue
once
to
they
close.
close.
Right, but I mean, or
But you don't
have
want to
them
give
call
up your
them
goodies
or
for
if
free.
they just call them.
Scott, you want to say something?
Yeah, but I mean,
Once they close, it's a list that we
but we tend to have them call us when
Yeah,
they
I know.
need.
Call me for it.
Yeah,
The basic stuff is on the list.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yeah. Having that service provider list is important. Or have it, or have at least have it in your Google Drive or Dropbox that is ready to go. That if they call you, like I have a client call me and say, hey, you know what? This has happened to me this weekend. I know you more than anyone else does. Who should I call? I'm like, yeah, call. Here's 3 people. Call them, like, and find out because you're not expertise, but you are the advisor. They trust you. So like there's gazillion company out there, so they need to make sure that they get the right people to talk to.
And to talk to them later, if they haven't already talked to Homeowners Hub, there's another option.
Yep. So they will be talking to them in a second.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, Scott.
So I'm not sure who here was at Simon's mastermind last year, but Drew Lee, when Drew Lee came and talked to us, one thing he mentioned was like, you gotta be like the local expert for your area. He kept like pushing that, pushing that, pushing that. Like, you're the go-to for whatever it is that your clients need, and they call them out.
Yeah, you need to know everything about, especially the town that you do business in. Doesn't matter which town you do business in. Know everyone as much as you can. Know all the local store. Know all that. You're the local expert. You're the local advisor. So you need to know all that, right? All right. So the next page you go to. I didn't talk about buyers, but before I go to the next page, buyers. How many buyers you think you take out, and how many offer you right out? Oh, how many transactions you do? Buyers. 15 also. Okay. Buyers. Low. Why low? You prefer sellers? I prefer sellers. I prefer all the time. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll do whatever, but my goal of what I'm going after, a homeowner.
Okay. Yeah.
So with sellers, you're always gonna need to pay your bills, right?
Right. Yep.
But however, if you're newer in the business, okay, you need to build your buyer business because when you're older in the business, those are going to be your sellers.
Yes.
So your business should be at least a 60-40. If you don't want it to be 50-50, do not say, I'm not taking buyers out because at the end of the day, if you do a good job for those buyers, they're going to be your sellers and you're going to need that business.
Yep, definitely. Yep, 60-40 is a good rate. And also, your seller, each seller should actually able to provide you more business.
Exactly.
Right? Your seller means your open house. From your open house, that buyer who buys it may need to sell a house. And also, your seller who can refer you to someone else. Right? So every seller should become forced transaction, minimum. All right?
I have a question
So,
about
yeah.
that. If you're saying that, so if you look through your list of your past clients who you close with, and some haven't given you any business, any referral business, what do you do? What would you suggest is your next step?
To talk to them one-on-one, have a conversation separately. Just say, hey, you know what? I just want to make sure that I'm in the real estate business. The pipelines are really referrals to heart of my pipelines, right? And I just want to make sure you know that I'm there for you and for any of your friends and family who's looking in real estate.
Keep pounding it in your head.
All right, so that's really important. Your past client, I don't like to say past client because they're not really past client. Your client's always your client. Your clients for life. Right? That's how I treat them because everyone knows about 7 to 10 realtor minimum. That's just easy to say. They might know even 20, right? But you really, if they work with you already, and also statistics say 80% of them don't even go back to the original realtor. So your job is to really to stay in touch, have that relationship that they like you and trust you. They will always come back to you, and our clients always come back to you. I've done sales with my client 4 or 5 times, right? And that's a relationship building, all right? And don't think of it as a one-time wonder. You might have a guy say, hey, you know what? I really don't want to deal with him, but let me just get this done. But you know what? That person may know someone that can refer you a $1 million business. You never know. Like, never judge by the covers. That's really important. Also, never judge how people come into an open house. That's really, really big thing for me. Sometimes people who wear sweatpants and baseball cap have more fun than you and I. Okay, so that's really, really important that you remember that.
And some people who are driving the big fancy cars, they're driving their house. They can't even afford it.
They might have the most fancy car, you know what? And they might have a big house, but the house inside what? It's empty. There's no furniture. All right. So and that's their choice if they want to do that, right? So so the next page, so let's break it down. So you have your goal for the year. So how many sellers, how many buyers, and then next page is break it down to quarterly. So what I want you to do is to break it down. No, the one, yep, that page. So that breaks it down to 4 quarters. So every 3 months. So from January to March is 1 quarter, and then April to June is another one. So July into August. Concentrate on the first 3 quarters. For let's say you do 50 listing, right? So break those down into the first 3 quarters more, and your last 3 quarters to be less. So generally, I like to do like your first 3 quarters have the more percentage, and last quarter is probably about, I would say, 15% or 10% of your business. The other 3 quarters is your majority of your business. And your second and third quarter should be your main part of your business because that's the heavy spring market, right? So you gotta make sure you do that. And then by you doing that, you can break down to quarterlies. And have you guys, some of you guys, have you read the book 12 Weeks of the Years?
What is it?
12 weeks of the year.
Yeah,
What's it called?
12 Weeks of the Year. So it's a book that you should probably read. So get it, you can get it on Amazon. Really, it's a good book. It helps you breaks it down into look at your 3 months at your year, pretty much. So it's like review your numbers every 3 months to making sure that you stay on track. Meaning like, am I prospecting the 3 months that I say to myself that I'm doing? Am I making the appointments that I'm getting in that 3 months? Like, because if your first 3 month goal don't stay, then what you need to do, you need to tack on that goal you didn't do. Let's say you're gonna do 15 listing that first quarter, right? But you only got 10. So then your second quarter, you say you also gonna do 15 listing. So guess what? That 5 needs to move over. Then you have 20 listing that next quarter you need to do. So make sure that after the 3 months you look at it, if you don't hit your number, you need to now adjust your second quarter number and make it now, for you to get 20 listing, then I might need to adjust how many more days I need to work, how many hours I need to prospect. Generally, rule of thumb, yes, 2 hours a day is really good, but sometimes you know, pump it up 3 hours a day. The first 2 quarters, I generally like to actually ask people to push up their prospecting time because that's really set up your pipeline for the rest of the year. Actually, your first quarter, you should really prospecting really much more on a higher level because when you get to second quarter, guess what? Are you getting busy? Right? I have appointments. I can't do this. I gotta make sure I help my client stage the house. Oh, I gotta take photography for this person, whatever, all this stuff, right? But then your first quarter, if you can build all your business into it, then you have the time to making sure that, okay, you know what? I spend a lot more time. Instead 2 hours a day, I did 4 hours a day because I know that I have less time to spend second and third quarter. You always have less time, or you have to work longer hours. Again, but you don't want to do that, right? You want the balance of life. You have it, you know, and to making sure that to have a balance for you. And then by doing that, so I can see Zach right here for me. He's breaking down to like 4, 5, 5, 5, 4. So then he said how many appointments per week, per month. So give me some of your numbers. So give me your first and second quarter numbers. I'm going to use you because you gave me 50 listing. I love it.
So the first quarter, I got 12 listings for the first quarter.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the second quarter, I beefed it up a little bit, and I just added like 1 more, so that was 15.
Okay. Yep. Okay. And then by doing 15, and then you have how many hours you work and all that stuff, right, in there, and how many appointments you can convert, right?
Yeah, it's all gonna be about prospecting.
Yep. But for you to get 15, right, remember you said to me your ratio is 33%, meaning you need to times 3 times. So for 15's listing, which means you have to get 45 appointments set. So for you to get 45 appointments in that 3 months, then each month you have to really get. Yeah. This is really how the guy you break it down, right? So, all right. Any questions on that? Right? Okay. All right. This is next thing that this is for you to commit to. I can't make you to do this. This is only for yourself, and you can make lots of copies of this. This is weekly. I would love for you to try this next week if you can. It's called a 10-10-10. Okay. So you contact 10 people a day, and this is you calling, not having someone else call, and not having AI calling. It must be you, okay? Must be all face-to-face meet, or 10 texts, and 10, what does it say? 10 emails. I'm actually less on email today. I'm more about text and handwritten note. Okay, I'm gonna just tell that because text you can set that up on alert. They see it, they get back to you, great. But really, the other thing is that we're gonna talk about a little bit about text also. You see the result about texting because I can tell you, we had an event, recently. Some of you guys may do it, like Thanksgiving, you do the pie thing, whatever, right? And so we always send tons of email out. We send a postcard out to remind them. And that ratio is so low because because they see so many email, they get so many mail, right? But by us contacting them, texting them a photo of the event and the information, the return rate of that was so much stronger, and they create a conversation with them. All right, so text is, I think today in this world is number one contact form. For me, at least, actually. So I think some of you guys are knocking your head, so that's true, right? I think people look at the text, they has on the phone like vibrate and blink. They will look at that within 3 seconds. Email, they may not be there. They could be out doing working, wherever, having appointments. They won't see it. But it's something urgent, like you know, for could be a buyer, say you see a listing pop up, and you say, I was like, oh my goodness, I just saw this listing, and like boom, 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 and they see it like you're working for them. You're not waiting for them to tell you, hey, by the way, I saw a listing, can we go see it? You want to be, you know, the person be proactive, giving them the information. Because if you don't, guess what? They don't need you.
I think text leads to calls. Like I think.
Text is easy to call?
No, I think text messaging leads to calls.
Yes.
I think it's the opposite way.
Yes.
Text message, you start going back and forth, and it leads to a call to have a longer conversation.
Correct,
about
yes.
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. But you still should make your call 4 times a quarter.
Yes.
Right? Don't give that up. I'm not telling you like not to call, but text is a lot more faster and a lot more convenient. Also, they look at their phone within 3 seconds. Right? So that's really, really important. And so go through all that. And also in here, it tells you also your goal, how many hours you work, how many days you work, and all that. So set that for yourself, and then do me a favor, do that for 1 week, and then come back to me and let me know that you hit your goal or not. Or does this work? And make yourself accountable. Like check it off. Like I did email to 10. Again, email is not really a big thing for me. I did call 10 people. Or I did have face-to-face meeting. I did send text messages. I did set up appointments. All that. Do that for 1 week, and see how your result is, and then come back and let me know. Because listen, this works. It really does. And it wouldn't be on there if I didn't think it's going to work for you guys. Yep. And so in the next page, and also what we're going to do is that we're going to set you for the next year. Put yourself in like what is your project or your system or certain thing you want to put in place that you don't have or develop that you don't have. It could be your social media presence. It could be visibility. It could be I want to create a team or wherever that is, or I want to get more involved with Facebook. I want to, you know, so put that into there. You don't have to do 10 because you can. I don't think you can. And so just do, just list that. By the way, that 10-10-10 daily tracker, make copies of it.
I did my own Excel tracker thingy before, but I like
And then when you have a chance, let me know what is some of your project you want to work on. I'm going to have to speed things ahead because, yep. Yes. Go ahead, Val.
So I'm terrible at social media.
Okay.
I mean terrible.
Okay.
I'm old, and so
It's never too late to learn.
I hate social media. Okay, but I'm seriously, and everyone's like, Val, I'm getting listings off of social media. Val, I'm getting buyers from social media. And I'm like, okay, they're strangers, but okay, no problem. So I know that that's something that I have to really
Yep.
work on in 24. And I have to, as Marcia says, I have to embrace it.
You have to embrace
I
it.
have to embrace it.
And also, just like how you set yourself on the timelines and guideline, same thing, your social media, say, here's my 4-quarter plan.
Well, first of all, I have to learn it.
Okay, so learn it.
I have to learn how to do the social media.
Yeah.
I know how to put pictures in, but I don't know how to do all the other fancy stuff. That's what people do.
And listen, there's so many classes and training. Just even go online, go YouTube. Like there's people sharing information left and right. And then also, you know, being with the company, there's all these different training hours, and everyone's willing to share. So it's amazing. So it's really, really good. What else? Yep.
I want to involve myself in more community affairs that I, like you said, am passionate about.
Passionate about. Okay, I love it. Yep. Yes. Video. Yep. Video is really, really big. Yep. YouTube. Okay. So definitely get into video. Yep.
I'm still on the fence with TikTok. I don't know
Some agent does take time. You have to first you need to understand that demographic, that crowd, and the age group, and you need to make sure it makes sense. But if you want to start, if you haven't done social media, gotta focus on people that would relate to you, right? So what relate to you, what makes sense, right? Probably could be more like maybe Facebook, right? Could be the next thing could be Instagram, and then you can go next thing. Like start with something that people can relate to you first before you go right to, oh, you know what? This is the hottest trend, go to TikTok. It may not make sense for you because it may not work for you. It's you go to the millennium and a certain thing, and like even teenager, like listen, I can put my daughter on it. I'm like, listen, you do the video for me, go ahead. And she's great at it, and she can totally add the whole thing, and I'm like, within 5 seconds, you know. And then my kids was like, someone else, one of my kids, I was learning something about some AI program, and then I have to sign on to know how to get onto like Discord. Do you know what Discord is, people? So like kids in gaming today, they all do this so well. And my daughter is like, oh yeah, I can create this. I can do a private room. I'm like, you know what? Here, I give you $10 and get that done for me, okay? And you'd be amazed, like use those kids' skills. I mean, they're much better at technology. Like when we growing up, we didn't have a freaking phone, right? You have to have function, all this stuff. I'd be lucky to have a flip phone at that point, right? And, like flip phone, and I remember like my BlackBerry, that was like my extent. Black was huge, right? But today you can do so much on your phone. You can edit video on your phone. There's app on there, like, you know, there's like video app that I learned now, there's video app that you can get that, you know, it's free. Just go to the app store. There's like video app that you can get. There's slideshow app you can get. All those are free, and you can get those done really, really easy. I mean, I started learning those. Again, you have to keep learning. That's really important, right? Yes. Okay, next thing. All right, so the next one is talk about your marketing plan, right? So when you say you're bad in social media, just go back to those. Make sure you set your goal for 4 quarters and what you're gonna do, okay? So this is now beginning of your marketing plan. What I want to do is go down this list, rate 1 to 5, that's really important to you, or you're really good at. And don't tell me you're really good at everything, okay? Five being that it was really important to you, or you're really, really good at. Okay, someone give me something. What are you really, really good at? What's important to you? What you're really good at? What personal referrals, okay?
I do readings and reviews a lot.
Reviews. That's really important today, okay? What else? Door knocking, you're really good at. Awesome, love that. That's a hard skill to have. Just, you know, yeah. She actually got listing out of it. Yeah. But again, remember, what someone else good at doesn't mean you need to do, right? It's what about you, what you can be good at. Yes.
Social media, so like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
All right, so did you just hear that? This person is really good at social media. So right, see, right there. So, right? This is all about that, right? You learn from someone else. And also, if someone's good at something, guess what? Look at what it is. Leverage it, and also you can copy it. Make some changes and do it. I look at people all the time, different stuff something that really good at. I may make a little twist on it and make it your version of it. And, you know, no one knows that you took it from someone else, right? And that's why you have all these resources online that, YouTube, go look at someone from California. I love looking at stuff from people from California, Texas, and Florida. And like, you'd be amazed what they do. It's like, oh, that's a really good idea. That's a really good conversation. Let me just take that and make it, twist it for our clientele that makes sense, right? So always go there and learn and keep going. So what's important to you and what's really good at?
So the door knocking, right? I wouldn't do it. It's not my thing. But there were a group of agents when I was at KW who would actually send a notice to the neighborhood that they were going to door knock at, all right? So that in advance, so that people didn't feel like strangers were coming up to their door.
Yep.
Right? They would send out a note saying, I'm going to be on your street and we're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about your neighborhood. They were like a little
That's really, really smart, actually. That's a good idea.
because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like, wait a minute, I'm not going to open my door. You're cute, but I'm not going to open my door for you.
Right. Right.
And it also depends on the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's really, really smart.
Had some success with that. So.
Yeah. But also for door knocking, it's really depend on the neighborhood and location as well. And also making sure that you check with the local township that you're allowed to do door knocking. Also, if you need to get a permit, please get a permit. All right, because you do not want to have someone said that that you come to my house. Natalie, can you get that? Yep. So that's really important. Door knocking. What else? What's really yes?
I'm good at like volunteering with my kids' activities. So they swim on a swim team, so I'm one of the team managers, and I always send it from my real estate email when I'm sending out stuff. So it's all about. But then like these parents know that I'm a realtor. They might not be moving now, but it's 5 years, right?
That's just keep reminding them. Visibility, right? Remember that? So last time we have James talk about visibility. Keep reminding people, and also being like your kids, being involved with your kids' stuff is really important. From PTO point of view to sports, I still have clients from the days that my kids were like elementary school and preschool. My kids are 15, 16, 17, right? And yeah, so like I'm getting business from when they were little. That's where my business are coming back from. So really important is like, if your kids are into soccer, softball, whatever, tennis, doesn't matter. Wherever their passion is, get behind them, support them, be a coach, be a volunteer, or be in the PTOs, get involved. It's all about getting involved.
Or have I've had like their parties at my house. So then
Yeah, absolutely.
come and see where I live and see what I do. Right.
Definitely, yeah, because things say, wow, I love how you did this for this part. It's like, oh, did you stage your house or whatever, so on, right? So that's really important. What else? What's important to you? What are you really, really good at? Networking. Awesome, I love that. That's really, really key today. It's all about, in our business, some people could be like an introvert and just don't want to go out. But in our business, that is not good work. You really need to go out to network. It's all about having conversation. Hey, by the way, what do you do?
You gotta come to like people.
You know what? Because when you ask them what they're gonna do, they gonna ask. You have to like people. Like, yeah.
You got some people who are in the business, they don't want to talk to nobody, they don't want to help. Only time you get them if you text them, and I'm like, damn, I really need to talk to you.
Yeah, no, you have to talk to people. That is really important because networking is one of the top things that you should do to always have on top of your mind, right? Be approachable. Yep. Don't be so standoffish, right? Yeah, making sure that you can talk to everyone who's asked you a question, be available. There's no stupid questions. I always tell my clients, yeah, ask me anything. They may say, hey, I have a stupid question. It's like, nothing is stupid. You just not know. You might not know, right? So, and just help them to understand the process as well. Because also when you're networking, we have conversation, and when, one of the model we do is that, you ask about, is Ford, it's F-O-R-D. So some of you guys know what that is. It's family, occupations, recreation, and dreams. So when you have conversation, those are the things that when you ask about family and ask about what they do, a lot of time when you ask them what they do, how's you doing with your work, they in return ask you back, say, by the way, what do you do? Especially when they don't know you, okay? So use that model, that's really, really good. So all right, we go on to the next page. So the next thing is this is now a business marketing plan for you. So for your top 50 of your friends, clients, VIP, what would you do for them? Your top 50 people. Then you go to your sphere of influence, then you go to your prospecting, then you go to your website, pick top 3 choices for me. And you can also write something in there. If it's not something that you like to do or it doesn't work for you, you can write something else in there that's those extra lines. And if you're prospecting, who are you concentrating with? Is it buyer? Is it first-time home buyer? Is it someone who is, who just got divorced, or is it estate sale? All right, so give me some of your choices. So your top 50, what would you do for them? How do you stay in touch with them? Coffee? Coffee and tea, right? Sending out newsletter? Okay. Monthly? Okay. Don't send weekly newsletter, please. Okay, because they just hit that spam button with a second. Like I sometimes newsletter, if it's good information, provide it. If it's not, if you don't think it's good newsletter to send, don't send it. Yeah. Okay. Recipe. Awesome. Yep.
I do American Lifestyle magazine.
That's once a year or it's a quarterly? It's quarterly. Okay. Yeah, quarterly. Yep. You can definitely do that. I think you can do both. I think you can do both. You can do those magazines. You can do either monthly or quarterly.
And then they also have a digital version that you can do monthly, but I do the in-house version.
The in-house version?
On quarterly basis.
On quarterly basis. Okay. Yep.
I only send it to my clients.
Yeah.
Clients who that have done business.
Right.
Yeah. It's just another touch.
Yeah.
It's just
Keep
another
it
touch.
Yeah, I did it the wrong, I did it when I was a brand agent. No.
No, probably now's the right time to do it.
Now's the right time to do it.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the best thing to do with it is to get it into your doctor's office and your dentist's office.
It's a drop.
Because they'll put it on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. That's awesome.
Right. And
It's
the
a
thing
lot.
that I
Thing
love
outside the
about
box.
American Lifestyle magazine is if you're sending it to Dr. Brown or whomever, all right, I can't send it to Dr. Brown because they already have
Someone else on it? Okay.
else on it, and I love that about them.
Yeah.
So,
Switch it up.
yeah.
It's pretty exclusive. Like once you have someone name on it, they really protect you.
Do you remember when I first?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. No, that's a really good thing to do. All right, what about your SOI?
Yeah.
That who like you and trust you? What do you do for them?
I have also a resource I use where I send cards out, and sometimes I send it with some brownies, something like that.
Brownies, you said? Okay. All right, I want to make sure I want to get on that list. I want to get some brownies.
You got it.
Birthdays, anniversary, those are important to people sometimes. Okay, so make sure you always kind of ask your clients, say, hey, by the way, like if the kid's birthday is even much more awesome. And also, that if you know the pets, like when they got the pets and the anniversary date, like so when you see Facebook, I'm big looking at Facebook sometime, and then when I see that they have their birthday, like people love the pets. So when they post their pets, like here's my 3rd birthday, right? Like you'd be surprised sometimes when you send a treat to them to the house, they're like, oh my gosh, you remember my pet, like for the birthday. It's like something sometimes so little, it makes a big difference. All right. Someone also who is having, it could be a baby shower, newborn. You may not be so close. You can send them something. We have sent clients with the initials, with actually, one of a person that we have, they were giving a birth to, I think, the third child. So what we did was we actually had like kind of like those when you take bath with the shower with the towel blanket, right, with the name on it. So we did that with the name on it. But at the same time, it's like, hey, you know what? We don't want to leave out the other two kids. So then we actually also provided the same thing to the two other kids as well. We send that package directly to them. They opened it. They're like, oh my God, no one have ever done this for me before. Again, there's certain things so small, they will remember for the rest of their life. They will, okay?
Even for your closing gifts, I know a lot of agents don't do closing gifts.
Yep.
Which is really silly because you should do a closing gift to your client. When you're creating that relationship with your client and you're going out and you're getting to learn about them, you're asking the questions that we sort of talked about.
Right.
That is such a great way to find out what type of closing gift you should be giving.
Yep.
Right? I have a client who absolutely loves teas from England. Okay, and so I had my assistant research teas from England. All right, and we got a package, a whole different carton variety of teas from England, and gave it to her for closing with a beautiful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
on it.
Yep.
And she was like, "Oh my God, this is so great."
Yep.
Right? And you know what? She sent me a buyer.
Yeah. Yep. Closing gift work.
Closing gifts work.
Yep. And anniversary gift work also.
Yes.
And also every year, every client that we have, we go back and we do pop-buys. It could be something small, doesn't have to be anything big. You can buy brownies, or you can do cookies, or you can do a bottle of wine if they drink, whatever it is. But like that pop-by gets so many referrals for us. It's really crazy. So like always do a pop-by. Like if you haven't planned it, like the next 32 days, that's one thing you should plan. Okay, that is a must, especially during the holidays. Okay, all right, then let's talk about the next one is that, what about prospecting? Which one would you prospect? Who is your people that you go prospect with?
I like expired.
Expire.
So when I was a brand new agent, we did handwritten cards to expired.
Uh-huh.
And I got like 3 listings my first year in real estate.
That's awesome.
They all was like, I was a brand new agent, but they said it just from me writing the little notes, and it was handwritten.
Handwritten notes, back to basic, right? Yep.
Did you write, and when did you send it? Did you send it the day before it expired?
Oh no, so I was brand new. I was still in. I started at Whitehurst, and they had like fast track. So that was one of the assignment in fast track.
Yep.
And it was just like go on MLS, look at any of the expires in your neighborhood, and write them in handwritten note. Tell them that you're expert at working with expires, and you can help them get sold. And I did that, and 3 people reached out to me, and I went with my mentor because Whitehurst has a mentorship program. And they knew I was new, and it was like, because you took the time, you wrote the handwritten note, and you came with someone to help you, we want to give you a chance. And I was able to sell them, and they were very happy.
Are you still doing it?
No, I need to go back to basic. See, there we go. I need to go
See,
back to
now
basic.
you get putting yourself back like how you first started. Don't give up those skills.
No,
Go
like,
back.
I'm so busy.
Go back to do it, right? Go back and do it. Yeah, in the back. Yes, Scott. Yeah.
So lately I've been trying to reach out to some like divorce attorneys,
Divorce attorney. Okay.
just because there's a good chance that they need to sell the house, and so I'm just trying to talk to different attorneys and just say who I am, and if they need any help, please let me know.
Right. So that's your 4Ds, right? You guys know what the 4D is? Distress, huh? Yep. And death. Death. Yep.
Oh, that.
Yep. Okay. So those are for really, really good people to get in touch with: divorce attorney, estate attorney, and then credit repair attorneys type of thing that who did special, you know, maybe not as much today, but I think that's gonna come soon. So definitely, you know, because of inflation, people cannot afford certain things anymore, cannot maybe pay for the houses anymore. That may come back. And distress could be anything. You know, sometime could be someone who has an addiction of something, and they spend all the money on one thing, and they're able to provide their families in XYZ. So always have that in mind with your prospecting. Expire is really good. But what about your database? Your database.
That's where I am.
Like before you go outside, go into your database. We're gonna talk about that just a little bit later, okay? Your database is your data bank. Like that's really, really important. That
So easy to keep in touch.
and people already know you, who are like you, who already trust you, right? So like before you go out to all different prospecting, go to your phone first, because those people who's on your phone already know you. All right? So like don't go outside and like, yeah, on this list there's probably like 50 things you can do, right? Concentrate on 3 that make sense to you. Don't go all over the place, because if you do, you never get focused and you're not gonna get to where you want to be. If you're really, really good at something, stay that route, all right? So, and the people who's on your phone, you can pick up and have a conversation. They'll be happy to talk to you. If they're not happy to talk to you, guess what you do? Just delete. Take them off the list. All right. And if with a client, you know, with a past client of mine, some reason that, you know, we stay in touch and then they end up like working with somebody, they give a good reason, whatever it is, that's fine. I don't have to talk to them anymore, because that's gonna make my life easier. So I have less people to talk to. You want to work with people who like you and trust you. That's important. Like if it's some reason that, you know, they decide not to work with us, it's not your fault. Or if you see, but you know, but also, you know, if you see a for sale sign on the lawn, they didn't work with you because there's a reason for it. But that's okay. But it's also maybe you didn't do your job. Maybe you didn't stay in touch with them. Maybe you didn't call them 4 times a year. Maybe you didn't invite them to an event that you had that you should have.
And that's usually the reason why people don't work with you again, is because you didn't stay.
You do not stay in touch. 88% of people do not go back to their realtors. Okay?
They're like, they never called me.
I stayed in touch with a client and I didn't get the listing when they sold the house because her best friend got her real estate. So sometimes it's a family member or it's a friend who has a license and they want to get them for business.
Sometimes yes, but there's a way to say something differently on that. Say, you know what, I'm glad that you want to work with your friends. That's really important to me and your family. But what I'm going to do for you is that I'm going to give you my expertise coming from different perspective. This is your largest investment. So I want to make sure I'm giving you my 200% and giving you that my expertise and my advice for you. My experience matter. Okay, experience matter. Okay, what you say to your client is really important today. All right, you have to be confident and also that this, oh wow, you know what, they really could be on my side. I've gone to many appointments that they have said, hey, you know, I have this friend that I'm really wanting to work with. I have this, and like, yeah, and also they'll be like willing to cut the commission like right there in a second, within a heartbeat. I'm like, listen, if they're your friends and they're cutting commission right now, how good are they going to be negotiating for you? Okay, if they're willing to give away the money for you right now, how good are they going to be negotiating for you when you really need us to be there? My experience by doing it for a long time, how many years you have, and I'm there every step of the way for you, and my job is to negotiate on my behalf for you to make sure you get the best offer and best price for you. How does that sound? Okay.
My friends could be a little lackadaisy because it's my friend, you know, so I don't have to do all the bells and whistles that I would do for a stranger, you know, so they gotta take that into consideration too. Your friend probably won't work as hard as you as I will.
Yeah. Yeah, we do a lot of business with our friends currently right now. And those conversations are set that expectation right from the beginning. You have to. listen, I'm your friends, but I'm your realtor right now. For- okay, you separate. It's like we can have a friendly conversation. Hey, what are you gonna do for your kids? Are you going here and say, hey, you know what? Let's separate. So let's talk about business. All right, separate that too, making sure that you have that conversation right from the beginning. Because then if you don't, you muddle the whole thing up, that friendship may not stay together.
Yeah, it was totally different because everyone in my family knows me as Michelle. But when it's time for business, I'm Aisha Clark. And I had one friend come in, he said, hello, Mrs. Clark. Like, he saw the transition. Like, we're friends on the side, but right now, it's a
Yeah,
little different.
yeah, that's really important. Just make sure you know that.
Never joke, I would never joke around with them on my business hat is on. Never. It's like, I'm a completely different person.
You get at professional, right? It's very different when you're friend setting, like going out to a restaurant, bar, hang out. Sure, you know what? When they come in, call you in for an appointment, you guys set that tone, say, hey, you know what? I just want to make sure I'm here for you as your advisor. I'm here to give you my advice. So what we do is that I want to make sure that I give you my advice for you, that you can get your highest net value or get you the best houses possible,
And I
right?
questioned myself a little bit because when I saw the transition, I was like, am I doing this right? You know, should they look at it this way? And then I said, yeah, because I'm two different people in a way.
You have to separate yourself. They actually want you to do that, but they want you to be the one telling them that, you know, because if you don't, you know, it's not good. Most of the time that doesn't work. I know that for a fact. So, yeah. Yes, Steve.
Something I like that Tracy once said that resonated with me is hold yourself to a higher standard with your friends and sphere.
Yeah. Yes, you always want to be a high standard for your friends. Like when you're working with a stranger or someone you just met off the street or they just call you for a listing or buying appointment, that's great. You provide your service and your value. But with your friends and family, you need to step up 3 notches. Because if you don't, you never get to see them again, hear them again. But if you do, you will get that referral business. Like, think outside the box, provide more value. All right? So I'm not gonna, so you can go through all that stuff. E-marketing website, it all depends on you. So we gotta move on because we wanna make sure. So next page, this is what I want you to do is that when you engage, you know, a homeowner, what would you do? What are the things that you do? Again, there's like email, direct mail, door knocking, events, local advertising, social media. Pick 3 things that would be something you choose to do. Do not check all the boxes, please. Because first of all, if I was a client, get all those from you, they're like, oh my God, you know. So you don't want them to hit the spam button. Or do you want them to talk to you? All right. So making sure you have that. Now, this could be anything. It doesn't have to be door knocking. So this one, to say door knocking, you can just say, hey, you can just change it to, let's say, Valerie. Let's say you want to do better on social media. You can change it to, like, I'll engage this area by doing social media. Like, or I'll engage this area by doing direct mail. Like, make it your goal and how much you're going to do and when you should do it. And what would you, how many of them, let's say you do postcard, how many you want to send out? With direct mail, you have to make sure one thing you have to understand, direct mail, you have to do what? Constantly, consistently, okay? It doesn't mean that you send one out 1 month and then like 8 months later send the next one out. It's not gonna work. You have to send monthly or at least quarterly. It has to be on a schedule because they were expecting to get it from you. I have clients that we send a lot of mail out. So, and that's one of the things that worked for us. And I would have go to appointments. They would say to me, you know, we receive your mailers. Or I have a client go to me and pull out a whole stack from market reports to just sold card, just listed card. Like, you want to concentrate in an area. Don't send all over the place. Make sure you have a geographic forming that you really want to concentrate in and stay focused. Doesn't have to start big. Like you have to do 250, fine. 500, go to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 5,000, right? So, but most of you guys want to start 250 and concentrate in that area because then that's gonna help you. And then, but but don't just send the card out without what? Follow up, okay? Call back. Even though it's like they may not be ready, they may not know anyone, it's someone that you want to just stay in touch with, okay? And then you go to, if someone wants to expire, and making sure that when you do expire, always drop off a package. All right? Yep. And I mean, there's not so much expire right now, but there will be, I think, soon. So you want to do that. And then first-time home buyer, making sure you have a buyer consultation or have a buyer packet for them, meaning that making sure that they know every single step of what you could do, like a buyer guy. How many of you guys have a buyer guy? How many of you guys have a seller guy? All right, so the one who didn't raise your hands, you need to get one done. All right, because you need it. It's gonna help them to understand, because you can't squeeze all the information into the head within the first meeting, 30 minutes. It's like, here's a packet for you. Inside here, there's a buyer guy or here's a seller guy. Please read through or look through it, because it's gonna provide you all the information you need. If there's anything, anytime you have a question, please ask me that you need to know, okay? But if you don't have one, please do so. They're really easy to do, and a lot of them actually even online as well. And you can actually, again, make it your own, change it, copy it, make a spin on it, okay? Yes? How is what? How to stop? Oh, to have them throwing away? You can't control that. But long as it's your face-to-face meeting, from that face-to-face meeting is that you provide them a value, and then having that value that they should hold on to it. If they don't, you know what, then you can go back and say, hey, remember that the buy guy I sent you like a couple months ago, or we talked about, that has all the step about mortgage and like, you know, lender's information, also walk you through the process. Make sure you go back to read that before we put an offer in. So then they remember, oh, you know what, I can make sure hold on to this booklet, right? And that's important during that buyer consultation, to say, hey, you want to make sure you hold on to this booklet. It's like, out of all the things that you want to, and I'm sure you get a lot of stuff from everybody, but out of all the things I provide to you, this is one thing I want you to keep. Because it provides you information, it's going to help you to walk you through the process about buying homes, selling homes, whatever. It's got information in there, it's going to help you explain it. If you don't understand it, please call me anytime, because I'll be happy to explain it to you. Because in that first 30 minutes or that first hour that you meet with the buyer and seller, it's information overload. All right? A lot of time for a buyer and seller, if you can, send that packet via email prior, okay? And so they can look at it first and ask you any question, because it makes your meeting much shorter, because it's much easier. So I mean, I still sometimes do the long appointment, 2 hours appointment sometimes, but now I actually can go to like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, because I always send them certain package, certain information, and when I'm at the listing appointment, I do not talk about anything about myself. Nothing about my team, myself, how much I do, with because it's all on that email already, or all provided to them. When I'm at that appointment, it's all strictly focused on them. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So if you don't have the buy and sell guide, please do one. And also, if you don't send an email out to your clients prior, before you meet them, please have a template made, and just making sure that you have that for your client. Okay. And it's really easy to say, hey, by the way, I'd love to meet you. You know, it's great that I'm meeting you Thursday at 4 p.m. Here's some information about us, and here's a copy of a buyer seller guide, and just kind of read through it. You want a question? Please feel free to get in touch with me prior, because then I can answer them, or so on and so forth. Also, the other thing that really important that for you to ask during that first meeting, if they have worked with someone already, or they haven't worked with someone. What is the most important to you that you're looking in a real estate agent? All right, they will tell you, because they will say, well, I'm really important. Most of the time, it's communications. Yes. 99% of times communication. Or the other one will be, I just want someone to be honest with me. And then I'll say, I want somebody who will help me guide me every single step of the way. Or someone that I say, hey, I want to make sure you can provide resources. Making sure you have all of those ready to answer them back. Because then also at the meeting, say, hey, I remember that on the phone conversation, you mentioned that, communication is really important to you, right? And so I'm going to make sure you know that I'm always going to report back to you once a week on Monday at 5 p.m. that we're going to have a conversation and talk. And make sure if you do set that time, make sure you call them at that time. All right? For a seller or buyer, say, hey, you know what? We'll make sure that let's have a conversation on a 15-minute call Thursday before we go out to see what's going on the week. And let's just talk about it to make sure it makes sense for you to come out to see houses. All right? And then we're going to go to the next. So database, I'm going to go skip through some of these pages because we are running some time. Database is really important, so make sure you keep. How many of you guys have a database? How many of them you put it on your database into a CRM? And do you use that CRM?
Not the way I should. I gotta get better with it.
Okay, that's I would say everybody. Okay, so wherever CRM you have, it could be could be KV Cord or could be another system, could be Top Producer, could be whatever it is. Use that system. Like every time you talk to somebody or every time track it, or like because, for instance, let's say someone has the kids like they go on surgery. Like if you talked to them 3 months ago that you don't remember, you write a little note, say, hey, you know what, last time I talked to them, they had a surgery, blah, blah, blah. The 3 months later, you talk to them and go back and say, hey, by the way, how are you doing? Are you recovered from your surgery? Like start with something you can go back to make the phone call with.
I always take the notes because sometimes people forget about you, and I'll say, well, you remember last time we spoke, you told me that there's something getting accepted to college, and I'll run it down, and they might not remember me, but if they tell themselves, darn, I gave this lady a lot of information. Let me finish talking to her, because it's like, I'm not a random, we've been talking for a little bit, so it kind of sparks something in their mind when I take notes like that and run it back to them.
Yeah, very important. So always take notes. Always when you go to a buying appointment, or selling appointment, always have a notebook with you. All right, or iPad or whatever, making sure that you at least act like you're writing something in the notepad. All right, but write, scribble, like I have like scribble of stuff constantly, and when they see that, they're like, wow, they really care. All right. Sometimes you can be like, I have short attention span, and I just like, say, oh, I'm just got like writing something. Oh, look at the wall. I'm like, this is really good. And then but again, like you want to make sure they see you like, yes, oh, this is like, what do you have in your house? Oh, okay. What's the 3 things that's important to you? And then you write it down. And what's 3 things that's really like that you would do something different, or this is a house that you might not like, right? Because that's gonna help you when you write those down. That's gonna help you with conversation about how you price the house. So Mr. Seller, if you currently have this problem because of being on a busy road, double yellow line road, or not having this, do you think the buyer comes in and is gonna not have the same thing that you're thinking of? Selling a house is about location, conditions, and price. All those 3 has to line up. So it has to make sense. So if you were the buyer today, put yourself in buyer's shoes, Mr. Seller, what do you think your house is worth and how you should want to price it? And they're gonna say that's why they have you come in, right? But 98% of the time, they already have a price in mind. How do you get it out of them?
Because they always tell me that when I say, I ask them, they say, well, that's why I have you there, man.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Well, I'm gonna walk you the step. I'm gonna walk you the step, and I'm gonna show you what's on the market. I'm gonna give you data. This is not something I'm making up, but this is currently what's happened with the last 3 to 6 months. Show them the data, but don't say anything, and then let them say, hey, after looking at this, what do you think your house is worth today?
Well, most of them look at the house is worth what's on Zillow. Yeah, they look at the, they look at
Okay, so please, even though we know Zillow's not always the most accurate information, right? But always always before you go to listing appointment, look at Zillow first, see what is the range. Make sure that you have idea what that range is because that's part in their head already. Okay, so when you go into the conversation, you need to be either close to that range or right in the middle, but always give them a range. Please never give them one number. Never, never, never give them one number. Always give them a range. And my big thing is that when I give them a range, I say, listen, Mr. Seller, I don't know when you get list your house, either 1 month, 2 months, 3 months from now. We have to come back to you 3 days before we list the house to come back because we need to price ahead of the market. You want to outpace your competitions, right? So, so that range is really important. So sometimes the big range is better than the closer range, okay? Because it's telling, but also you're showing them data. Data is important. Say, here's 5 houses sold within the last 3 to 6 months. Here's the listing price. Here's the average selling price, right? So based on the average, this is what the number is. So where do you think your house is falling, right?
But I'm also giving them a range based on condition, current condition.
Yes.
Because the house is gonna sell.
Right. That would be the next thing.
Low side.
That would be the next thing. Well, the other thing is that when you walk around the house, that's important. So when you go look at the house, and one of the questions you can ask them, say, hey, Mr. Sal, I'm gonna walk in the house, or you can come with me, or I can take a look myself really quickly. But if they walk and follow you around, say, hey, you know what? Look at this is really great space. Hey, by the way, would you willing to do anything to your house to able to get you high in that value? And they would say, oh, it depends, right? But then you get ideas that you know how much you want if they want to spend anything, right? If they say, no, I'm gonna sell the house as is, then you know your headset, your mindset, how your price, give them idea what the price is, right? And also, but sometimes you gotta remember, you need to know your audience as well. Because sometimes that seller is trying to just get that number out of you because they might already have someone already gave them a number, okay? So really make sure you're important to say, hey, have you already met with anybody? Are you also planning to meet anyone else? Okay? You have to make sure you know who your competition is. All right? And
Yes, on the phone, Simon, or in person?
are they meeting anybody?
Yeah.
It really depends on the person. I think it's someone that you know, I think you can ask that. If someone you don't know, you want to get your foot into the door because you don't want to give them the idea that, hey, I should meet with someone else.
Right, yeah.
Okay? All right, so you never want to give them, that's me. So, but also sometimes if you know that, you know, the person you know, that you ask them, they say, yeah, I'm going to plan to meet another company. Say, oh, do you mind telling me who else it is? Sometimes they tell us something they may not tell you, but just know your stats, know your numbers. And if they tell you that person, look up the person number, look at the person days on market, look at the ratio, how quickly they sell the house, all that, right? Doesn't matter if they're number 1, number 2, number 3. Guess what? Sometimes those houses stay on the market longer. And guess what? Sometimes they overprice the house and the ratio of selling prices are 92%. Okay? When you have those data, it's gonna help us say, look at my data. My house got off the market in 14 days and sell 104%. Which one do you prefer to work with? Being number 1 doesn't matter. Okay? So don't get that out of your head. It's what you provide and how you can service them.
Because I'm a smaller Asian, I only have a partner, but I'll make an analogy like, well, you can go buy something at places you're looking down, but then like the town they live in, I pick like a really cute mom and pop shop, and I talk about that boutique experience, right? Like, and how they kind of just go the extra step and, you know,
Yeah.
what they do for you. So.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how you can do 100 units, 75 units, 50 units, 25 units, 12 units. You always want to create that boutique experience because you're providing value. Providing value is important.
The other thing too is that a lot of people get hung up on brand, right? A lot of sellers get hung up on brand. And I'm constantly like telling them, okay, so Keller Williams is not selling your house.
Right.
I'm selling your house, okay? You're hiring me. You're not hiring Keller Williams. The principal at Keller Williams don't care. The principals at EXP, where I am, they don't care, all right? They're there for me if I need them, but you're hiring me because I know the neighborhood. I'm your neighborhood expert, okay? I've been doing this such and such amount of down to who you're asking questions to, you're not calling my broker, you're calling me.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So you've got to sell yourself and get it out of their head that, oh, my picture is going to be, my house picture is going to be in the window at KW or Coldwell Banker. Like, who cares?
That doesn't matter.
Your house needs to be on Zillow and Realtor.com and my website.
And also how I market your house for you as well. It doesn't matter what, the branding, it's great, it was wherever, but at the same, and 99.8% of the time, they're hiring of you because you provide them the service and your expertise and the data. And that's a little piece of, whatever, that doesn't matter. As long as you can provide all the service and value, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, we are listing homes that is in the $2-3 million. It doesn't really matter, okay? It's about what you can provide them, okay? All right, so next thing we gotta do really quickly, providing them, one thing I want to just give you last thing is that skill valuation. Make sure you have this. Skill yourself on it really quickly. Front and back. Actually, the front. There's 2 pages, but you can just 1 to 10. This is gonna help you to guide you like what you're really good at and what you're not good at. And when you're not good at, have someone else help you on it. That's pretty much what I say. And you guys know what SWOT is, right? So SWOT. So you strain your witnesses and opportunities. So make sure you have that. I'm not going to talk about the income goals because you guys know all that. We kind of talk about it. You break it down. We talk about percentage, about if you're 33%, how much more appointments you have to get. Always try to get to yourself 50 to 75% of the time if you can. If that's telling me I'm time's up. So, and then the next thing I'm going to go really quickly is that the 4 pillars. You don't always just have one particular way of doing business. You always want to divide yourself to make sure you have 4 pillars. Like could be open houses, could be your sphere, could be your VIP or wherever. Make sure you divide them and then divide them into percentage because then you don't want to just pigeon yourself into one thing, but always have 4 pillars to make your sell business, right? And then the next thing is that you gotta go to goal setting. This is really about 1, 3, 5. Set your goals and then put your strategy in place and action into place. All right. Then you put the actions on the back. I really didn't have time to do the expand sheets, so please go through this on your own. There's 4 sheets. There's step 1, your expands. Make sure you look at your expands and fill those in, and that is good. And then when you fill those in, there's 2 columns. There's one column things that you really, 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 really need to have, and the other column is optional item. Today, you should have less optional items. Go to the expense you really, really need to have, must have. I always teach my kids like wants and needs are 2 different things. What you want and what you need are, say, do you need it or do you just want it? So what your one side is what you really need, the other side is what you want. And then when you're done with that, times that 12, because that's 12 months a year, then you're gonna know your number, how much of that you have to make sure that you can provide for your family. Then step 2 is really about knowing your credit card or your debts, your credit card bills, your insurance, your, if there's college educations, lines of credit, mortgages, all that stuff. Again, put that in a monthly and times that 12, so you know what is your debt, okay? Then incomes, which is important. Are you just strictly on a regular basis on real estate commissions? Do you have other incomes come in? So also remember, when you do real estate, you should always try to provide 7 different ways to able to have incomes coming through. Not just real estate. Think of other revenue sources, right? From investment perspective to, there's many, many options. To partner with someone else, to do something else. So to open a separate business that you're really passionate about, that when you have the time and the fund for it. So because that's when you're able to provide generation wealth and also create financial freedom. And then step 4 is about your net worth. That's what you're not, what cash, savings, checking, investment, life insurance, brokerage, like your mutual funds, your your 401k, all that stuff. Know your numbers and make sure you revisit this number quarterly, because you want to make sure you're on track, especially your expense. Make sure you do that. All right, and then make sure you do there's a monthly checklist to do that. To make sure you look at that monthly. And then one of the closings that I provided a golden letter to make sure that you can use something similar, because especially when there's low inventory, to make sure that you can try to, don't wait for a listing come on the market. Please don't. Be the one providing value for your client and send a letter out. It could be this version or something else, doesn't have to be this. But a lot of time you can provide your client criteria, what's looking for. That's really important, okay? Because also let your client know that you send this out for them. Because when they know that you're working for them, what? They get excited and they get stick with you. Because remember, most buyers have no, right, okay? So you want to provide them value, okay? Yes? Yeah, that for you is when you fill out your goals on those 5 things. Once you set it, you turn on for each of your goal on top, and you put action item into it. Okay? And I want to give you one more thing before we go. I know you mentioned about interest rate that's being really high right now. Oh, that's what people are saying, right? So a lot of time I use graphic for my clients so they understand, because sometimes talking to them, they don't really say, you know what, I understand that, right now, let's just say half is really high right now, okay? So you have 7%, this is not working. Okay, I'll get that to you. So there's 7%, there's 8%, 6%. Conversation is, okay, I get it, just 3 seconds. I think this is really, really important.
I think there's some people who must leave.
Okay, so do you guys want to look at this really quick? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, 2 minutes. I just want to share this. All right. So
A few people have already told me they have to leave, so thank you for making it. Grab some food if you must leave. But
yes, if you need to go, please do go. I don't want to hold you hostage, but I really do want to share this with you because I think this really help and work with your buyers if you need to. So you have 7%, 8%, 6%. They say, hey, you know what, interest is too high. I don't want to buy right now. I'm going to wait to go down. Yeah, sure. But at the same time, this is your housing market right now, right? This is your inventory. Do you think that's going to change when it goes to 8%? It stay the same. Do you think this is going to change? It stay the same, right? But then, the buy that's out there, this is all the buy, right? And when it goes up to 8% or whatever higher percentage is, you have less buy, right? So that's mean you have less competition. And when you go down, what happened? How many housing markets stay the same? There's no additional inventory. But when this happened, this person times how many? Same price point. So then what happened to the market of the price? So do you want to pay 15% more of the price when that interest rate go down? Or do you rather be here, buy now, that you have less competition, you have more room to negotiate? Right. And then you can always, and the other thing is that you marry the house, you date the rate. Right? Does this make sense? Yes. I love this chart. And by the way, I actually took this from someone else because I love this so much. I use it all the time.
And honestly, this been historically low because years ago it was
Yep.
I bought my first house was 15%.
15% you bought your first house. Look at that, right? All right, with that note, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys learned something. Please, I love feedback. If you always, if something else you want to learn, please let me know. I'm happy to provide that for you guys. All right, there's lunch here. Please have lunch. And thank you so much for coming.